It's a sunny November day, 2023, and I'm sitting here looking at my aloe vera plants from which I've extracted lots of gel, usually for my hair to use as conditioner. But what I wanted to talk about today was deformed houseplants. There's another one next to it. There, not as deformed, but slightly leaning to the right and relying on the monstera for some support. This is a succulent, and it's the reason this is happening is because the sunlight that I get, as you can see, is coming from only one direction, and these plants just stretch themselves to deformity, to the point of becoming deformed and even falling over, like it has in this case. I mean, with this aloe vera, it's not just the plant seeking light, it's also the weight of it. So it just hasn't been able to stay standing. And as I harvest from it, the balance, although I try to harvest from both sides, it's lost its balance. And one day, I think maybe a month or two ago, it just lost it and toppled over. And it's been leaning on the snake plant ever since. So this is what it looks like now. And this one too, again, because of the direction of the sun, it just can't carry its own weight. So it leans on the plant next to it. There is a wider point here about right to light, especially when you live in a densely populated urban area, and how that impacts not just humans but plants. I mean, it does get very political, so I'm not going to go into it, but we have a right to light issues where I live, and that means the plants, especially the house plants, sometimes have to contort themselves into all kinds of shapes to get the sunlight that they need. There's another plant that's also in a similar situation, and it's this corn plant that kind of looks like a palm tree, and it's leaning on my TV, kind of. So it used to be facing the other way, that way, which is where the sunlight comes from. And because it was stretching toward in that direction so much, it looked like it was about to fall off. So I moved it and changed the direction so that it was facing to the right rather than to the left, which meant that it was gradually leaning back to the left towards the sunlight and regaining its shape. It hasn't quite straightened back up, so you can see where the bend is. It's actually gotten a lot better. It was much more angular when I first turned it around months ago, last year, might be 8 months ago. And I stripped off the leaves as well because they were dying. I have a couple of videos on this plant. I've had it for about 18 years in the same, for the first 15 years it was in the same pot, so it's really suffered. But I repotted it and got rid of the leaves and just left it with the top leaves, and it's grown a lot since. So all of this is new growth. Most of that is new growth since I repotted it. And you can see that it's leaning back, so it starts, the bend to the right starts at the bottom, goes all the way to the top, and then it starts bending back towards the left and towards the right. So, I mean, this is it's not ideal. I don't know. The plant's still growing, still very healthy. Lots of new growth. Especially since I repotted it, it's been doing really well. And also I put a string. I don't know how much this is helping, but I'm trying to, the string is supposed to help it use its own weight to pull it back towards the light. So that's what it's there for. I've definitely noticed, I haven't documented it, but that bend used to be more prominent, more angular, more to the right, but less so, or because the plant is now moving back to the left towards the light. So that's how I'm trying to regain some balance and trying to straighten it. But yeah, this is another plant that I have, which is ended up being deformed. Deformed is the right word, or at least twisting in all kinds of shapes and directions to access sunlight, because I only have light coming from only one direction, as I am surrounded by tall buildings, and the access to light, the way the light comes in, is not evenly distributed throughout my home. So the plants reflect that, the shape of the plants, especially the ones, like this one. That's my balcony garden outside, which is what I normally talk about. It's a really sunny day, so it's looking quite nice. But I just thought I would talk about this issue, because I'm sure many people are in a similar situation. The access to light, right to light, especially when you live in urban places, has an impact on plants. I've also brought I'm growing moringa, and I had to bring it back in because the nights are too cold. I'm in London, UK, so we're in November, so I didn't want it to suffer too much outside. So it's been growing since. But yeah, so that's as I mentioned, it's a wider issue. It gets very political, the right to light, and some people have very strong views, campaigning on it and all sorts. And it's an issue, but it's one of many issues that we have in urban areas. So, and it's not really a big deal, but it's just something I thought worth discussing in the context of plants, house plants, and how it impacts. This is my pothos, and it's leaning on my on this light uplighter, and it's doing very well. So that's it for today, and next video I'll get back to my balcony garden. Thank you for watching. Bye.